All right, welcome everybody. Pete and Nick here back with the Roofr Masterclass, and going to shift gears a little bit today. I mean, we've been showcasing a lot of the features around the product and how to utilize them. And today we're going to shift a little bit, and we're going to talk about our subscriptions and also our free version, and how does that apply to each individual contractor's needs, and how we can best figure out what package is going to be suited for you. So as we're going to roll through here, we'll probably do some scenario stuff. I'm going to throw some questions Nick's way and, see what he thinks. And we'll, kind of give our input as to where we think you should be based on the size of your business, how long you've been in business, things like that. So, Nick, anything to say here as we open?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for this masterclass here because we get to kind of dive into what is out there, and the fact that not only are we very competitively priced, but we do have a free option. It's always a question that we deal with when we talk with contractors one-on-one is where should I be? Like what plan should I kind of fit in? And I'm excited to kind of make this into a big conversation today.
Yeah, and like Nick said, lots of opportunity here to ask questions of us. Feel free to use the chat, throw as many things as you want in there. It's really going to help us to kind of walk you guys through this. We're also going to throw up some poll questions. If you can, just go ahead and jump on there and answer those when I throw those in there, so that we can get a better idea of where you guys are at in your business, and maybe help to guide you a little bit along the way as we talk about this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and throw up the first one, and just let's talk about size of the business, right? So let's start there, Nick. Maybe I'm a company that's just getting going. Maybe I'm a one-man show. Maybe we started a roofing company last month, right? I just got incorporated and we're just getting ready to go. Haven't even landed our first roofing job, or maybe I've been in the business a little bit and looking to scale, right? Like we're going into the 2022 season. It's about to kick off for a lot of folks on the northern end. And, the weather's starting to break here. And I'm looking at that and thinking, all right, what do I need to do to maybe scale this business up, hire some more people this year, start to make a little bit more money than we have the past couple of years? Like we're feeling good about what we've been doing. So we've got a couple different scenarios there, but let's start with the small guy, right? Let's start with, I think it looks like 40% of the people, a little bit more than that, that are on the call today are a 1 to 3 person operation. So let's talk quickly about, if I'm that contractor, where do I want to go? How do I want to get started with something like Roofr?
Yeah, it's a great question. And a lot of the people that we talk to are small to medium size companies like James, who just commented there, starting out with 2 employees. Congrats, James. That's an awesome start. What you want to do really is start to look at what your goals are for the year. What are you looking to attain, and how many people are you looking to reach? Obviously, we all want to make the most amount of money as possible, but we want to be able to know that as you grow, as you're dealing with more people, so does that grows and your time shrinks. And you want to be able to kind of streamline your process from there. So if you are someone like James, who just commented talking about the 2 employees, you want to figure out how am I going to be able to best help out my customers in a timely manner. I could tell tell a story about this past weekend. I saw someone post in one of those Facebook groups. His name's Dylan, and he was talking about he didn't have coverage in his area from any of the major guys. He's in kind of a smaller town in southwestern Ontario. And I commented, I said, "Hey, let's just have a chat. Maybe I could help you out because Roofr has our free DIY tool." And the conversation started there, and then it started expanding to him saying, like, you know what, like I'm very, very popular in my area. I'm very sought after, but the problem is I don't have enough time because him and a couple people to get out to everybody in a timely manner. From that conversation, we grew to saying, hey, maybe you should look into one of our plans and we'll be able to streamline your process. So this is a long-winded way of saying it really comes down to what you're planning on doing this season. Like you said, Pete, it's Q2, just starting off. The weather's getting nicer in the northern hemisphere, and people are starting to think about roof replacement. How many roofs are you looking to quote a month is where I would start out first. If you're below 10 roofs a month that you're looking to quote, I really think being on our free plan is where you should be. You get 5 free proposals to work off of. You get $15 reports or DIY from free to $4 an image. And that's your bread and butter right there. Be able to get the reports out quicker. And once you start growing to more than 10 roofs a month that you'll be quoting, that's when I start looking into our pro plan. Our pro plan is around $89 a month, $72 if you're on the annual. And it's going to give you access to unlimited proposals, unlimited templates, and drop that price from $15 a report down to $10 a report. And that's why I'm saying that that breakthrough at 10, because you start paying back right away on that stuff right there.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing to note. It's something that is a big deal for these guys to get going. I think traditionally we've had a barrier of entry that's made it difficult for these guys to get on any plans, and now we don't have that. Now you guys can just jump right in. The low barrier of entry of Roofr allows you to get on our plans and get going, right, Nick?
Yeah, and that's the beauty about that, is that we're able to work with everything and help you kind of get moving. The barrier entry is so low when you're looking at a free plan, and you're able to jump in there and get everything moving with you. The beauties of working at home. Pete's got his kid there. So when you're looking at working, starting up and getting everything moving, $15 reports, no matter what size, whether it's a shed or a 2,000 square building, it's going to be $15 a report. But once you're crossing that barrier from 10 to 14 reports that you're looking to do a month, that's when you're going to look to save some money. And our plans are going to help you save money. And when you're at that amount, building a quote by hand or going into your CRM and hand punching in everything is going to take some time. You want to be able to streamline that process. And that's where the unlimited free proposals at Roofr can help, because we're just going to be able to click on that measurement, say create proposal, and all our values are going to go from the measurements directly into our proposals in seconds, where you can just confirm, send it off, and get an e-signature from the client.
Yeah, great points. I mean, I think that, like I said, traditionally, so many guys have struggled to really employ tech. And one of the questions I want to ask for the guys that are on the call, and you've been doing this a little while now, how much are you guys spending? So I'm going to put a poll up really quick. Now let's just see, if you guys are using tools, any kind of tech in the business, how much are you spending right now? And, how much are you investing in that, because that's a big piece of it, and I think especially since we have so many of the smaller guys, they're looking at that and they're like, man, that's a lot of money coming out every month, especially like a guy like James, who's just getting started, and he's thinking, is it worth it? Like, do I need tools like this to get going? Do I use a free version of something? We had a very interesting podcast with Latif from Boss Up not too long ago, where we talked about starting a roofing business. And it's funny, I think 5 years ago, the answers that he gave would have been completely different, and I think that for him to say right off the bat, one of the tools that you really need to have is that tool that allows you to estimate efficiently, right off the bat, as one of the key pieces to just getting started, even more important than possibly having like a CRM, because you got to remember, when we're small, like Nick said, if you're quoting less than 10 roofs a month, and we can keep track of that a number of different ways. We probably don't need a huge investment in a CRM at that point. We can wait till we scale up a little bit more. But being able to stand out and create professional quotes, that's going to take you really far, really quick, right? It's really going to allow you to establish yourself as a very professional business, and it's going to give you the opportunity to stand out from the crowd from day one. You can see here, Nick, that, most people are spending well over $250 a month, and you got to think about, that's in comparison to the fact that the majority of the people on the call are 1 to 3 folks. That's a pretty substantial investment, for a small company to make. So, let's talk about that. I'm a small company, obviously the budget's tight, but we want to be able to use products like this. I think one of the things that we have to keep in mind is the return, right? And I think this is one of the things that gets so overlooked when we talk about, a product like this and making this investment. Like, you want to invest in this for the long term. Like, this isn't something like we're going to employ for the season. Like, we ultimately want this to become part of our culture at our business, how we're going to quote for years to come, right? And and a huge piece of that too is that, we want to be able to use these tools to make us more efficient, to allow us to scale, to standardize the way we do things. So they're all things that are going to help our business in the long term. And,
Mhm.
so let's talk about, you know, uh, the investment in it, right? And the return, because you and I talk about this all the time. And the fact that, hey, if you sell one job because you're using this product, the return from that job, the profit from that job is going to pay for a product like Roofr for the entire year.
Yeah,
And I think that's the piece that's missed, right? It's
that
such a cheap product, right?
it's very affordable, and when we're talking about spending $200 to $250 a month, when you're a small company, like we said, that's a lot of overhead. That's a lot to kind of keep in mind there. When you can drop that down and use a product like Roofr, which is an all-in-one sales tool that can do a lot of that for you, you're going to be able to not only drive down your costs, but streamline your process. Like Latif said, you want to be able to present that quote up front. And Mark, I see you commenting there. Apparently, you're using us and love it, the good, better, best feature. So that's fantastic. And the good news is when you're looking at something from either 89 to 149 a month, super low cost, that's going to allow you to have your measurements and your proposals all in one place and streamline that process from A to B. That first quote that you sign with us, that profit's going to pay for the year. Because if you even look at an annual for a premium, you're looking at $1,340 for the year. Your profit is going to sell that for it. Going back to that gentleman I talked to on the weekend, we set up his Roofr account, set up his catalog, his templates, and sent out his first quote. That first quote got signed that same day. So it's unbelievable that you're able to get everything moving, and he's paid for it for the year. Now the overhead went from $250 a month to I paid for it. I paid it off for the year with that one signed job. So the value is so there. And like Mark said, not only are you getting these proposals, like Mark said in the chat there, not only are you getting these proposals that are super informative, super clear, super presentable to the homeowner, giving you that edge on your competition, but you're also taking your reports that you're ordering from Roofr, dropping down the price from $15 to $10, which is going to save you money, and also bringing our reports from a 24-hour turnaround down to a guaranteed 3-hour turnaround. So when you're talking about a process that's going to take you normally 1 to 2 days, you've dropped this down to a matter of hours and getting out in front of that customer with a speed to lead, with a presentation like that, with education that we can offer through our proposals now. It's going to be hard for them to say, no, I'm going to check out the other guy.
Yeah, and I think, this is a huge piece of it. I think Mark's kind of touching on it, a little bit of it there in the chat, but let's talk about the value of this
Mhm.
product, right? And all the features that are available. The accelerated return times, the good, better, best. Like, these are all things that, you know, uh, a lot of other companies you're going to have to pay extra to get there, right?
Mhm.
And I think that, it being all in this package for this price, like you said, really makes it a no-brainer. Let's start with measurements. Like, most of your measurement platforms are an all or nothing, is how I refer to it. Like, you're either ordering a report from them or you're not, right?
Mhm.
Us, we have, like, I like to refer to it as a suite of products, right? Like, you have the ability to order a measurement. If the situation presents itself and you can't have the imagery, you could, if you have a drone, you take a picture, you upload it, you measure it with us anyway, and all of these types of measurements can be rolled into our proposal blueprints, right? Something
Yeah.
that has come up fairly recently a lot. I think the ability to upload a blueprint and be able to pull measurements right off of that if you're a new construction guy. There's the opportunity to measure everything and really cover almost any situation when it comes to needing a measurement like this. And then once you roll over into the proposals, you've got the multi-option selection, you've got the good, better, best, the e-signature, your branding, like all of these things that really make this product so robust for the price. And regardless of what package you're on, right? So really it's a matter of just finding the one that's going to suit your business best, right? One of the key features I think for us is the teams feature, and having, how many people are on your team, what's the size of your team. If you're small, like you said, Nick, it may make sense to start out at the free level, and then as you grow, let the product grow with you and move up in subscriptions. Maybe you are a small company, but you're quoting a ton of work, right? So if that's the case, maybe it's going to make more sense for you to start maybe at the pro level, or maybe
Mhm.
straight up to the premium, depending on what you're doing, the volume, or even like you said, think about where we're looking to be at the end of this year and let's prep now for that. Right? Like let's
Exactly.
not get somewhere where, 6 months into it, then we're like, oh, now we got to shift gears or we got to find a new product, right? The beauty of this product is that you can grow with it and the product's going to grow right alongside of you and it's going to allow you to, have anywhere from, I think we have teams that have 40, 50 people on them
Mhm.
already, and we're in the off season. Like, so imagine how big that team's going to be when they're fully ramped up, down to one man shows that are running just as efficiently. So, the size of the team and the products have the ability to grow together, so as you scale, going back to the fact that this is a product that you can invest in for the long term, and then when you look at that price and you look at where we could potentially go with this product, it's a great value, right? And the features, like Mark has touched on, the features are incredible for that money. So, let's take a shift here, Mark or Nick, and talk about Mark. I see Mark there, right? Mark's making lots of comments. So let's talk about a bigger guy, right? Like let's say I'm a huge company. I've
Mhm.
been using some of the competition's products. We already quote digitally. We already pull aerial measurements. We've done it all before. We've used all the other products. We're huge. Maybe we've got 20 offices. Maybe we've got, 10 locations. Maybe we've got 100 employees, right? How does Roofr benefit me? What can it potentially do for me if I'm that big guy?
Yeah, I'm gonna flip around my screen to kind of share it a little bit to kind of go into it because I feel like I'm pretty good at talking, but I'm better at showing. So able to dive into that. And when we're talking about the value, it's really great to get in front, and you can see that meeting code at the top of the chat there to sit down and get in front of one of our reps here because something that's super valuable about what we do is we chat with roofers all day, every day. So we're able to kind of option a bunch of things to show out exactly what's going on, exactly what are the tools that other people are utilizing to improve their process. So whether you are a company that's just starting out from 1 to 3 people, or you're someone that has multiple, like you're looking at the 50 to 100, one of the cool options here is in the company tab, you can open up a team. And by going into teams, you can invite people in, you can remove them, you can move them around and stuff, and they're going to be able to start a process with you. The licenses are per workspace, so per office, so that you can kind of make it nice and clean. And the amount of people that you could have is on the free plan, you could have 3 team members on there, on Pro 5, and on Premium Unlimited per office. So you can really grow your team, organize everybody, which is the hardest thing to do in a big organization is keep everything organized and streamlined, and you can have it all in one spot. So inviting people in are super, super simple. And then the beauty about it as the admin, you get to see who's ordering what and when. You could see who's ordering. So it would say by person. So it's by Pete McKendrick, by Nick Capobianco, ordering these at all times and able to streamline that process. Once you start ordering, whether, again, starting at 1 to 3 people or 50 or more, you're able to then take these measurements and go look at the templates. If you're on the team, you have one subscription to rule them all, to use a nice nerdy Lord of the Rings reference there. You're able to have multiple templates that your entire team could use and really streamline that process. As you can see here, I have repair and full replacement templates. I have a shingle, flat, and aluminum template. I have good, better, best ones, multi options, you can name it, or even just the single ones, a straight Atlas, a Tamco, an OC, or whatever the case is. You're able to build these out and share them with the team. So when we're talking about what plan is best for you, it comes down to what you're using. And that's why I was talking about that demo link. Set up a meeting with us. We'll have a conversation about what you guys are doing and what your goals are, what your budget is, what tools you're using, and how we can kind of make you more efficient and streamlined. And getting into everything that we have to offer. A lot of people love us just for the measurements alone. Dropping down that price from $15 to $10 by getting on a plan. Maybe, John, that's what you're using us for on the premium. I just saw that comment. That's fantastic. And that's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of money. And we're happy to be that person. But one thing to know is that the proposals are sitting right there. They're available to build in seconds. So I'm just going to shrink this screen and bring across what a proposal can look like for you. and you can get a proposal out with your logo customized, a cover photo that you've taken from the street, from the Google, from anything. And you can have an inspect option. That's an inspect for the flat and the shingles. You could have a full replacement option for the shingles and the flats. And the customer can pick multiple options right off here. And all of this was created in seconds by taking our measurements over to the actual proposal and building it out. With that in, you could upload photos, annotate them, mark them up, and all this. And this is all involved on your subscription for free. This is a premium quote showing you the good, better, best, and showing you the multi options and the image uploads. But the Pro is going to map to measurements as well. So going back to what Pete said, where's the value? The value is getting in front of one of us on a demo, having a conversation to see what is best for your company, what you're lined up with, what your goals are for the season, and we'll be able to point you in the right direction for the plan.
Yeah, and I think a big piece of that, like you kind of mentioned there, Nick, as I think so many people traditionally are using us for measurements. You know, they went to us maybe years ago for measurements, and have been using us since then. You know, because of the great price point, because of the quality of the measurements. You know, but now there's so much more to that, and the beauty of this is the consolidation piece, right? Taking potentially multiple platforms that you're using. You know, maybe you're using Roofr as your measurement tool, but maybe you're using it in conjunction with, you know, your CRM to do your quoting, or maybe you're using pen and paper to quote. You're just using our measurements to, you know, get your numbers. You know, whatever the case may be, you know, now you have the ability to take those two pieces and put them under one hood. And, you know, that's huge. One, from a cost saving standpoint, but two, from what Nick just showed you there with the Teams functionality, an organization standpoint, and streamlining the way everybody's doing things and standardizing the way everything's happening, you know, is just a huge time saver. Right. And now we all know time equates to money, right? Whether that be, you know, equates to quoting more jobs, whether that be equates to running more appointments, you know, whether that be spending more time with your family, right? Yeah, you know, it can be priceless either way. So, you know, I think utilizing the platform and understanding that there is so much to offer there now, like you said, regardless of where package you're on, you can take advantage of that value. And the value is in that consolidation piece. You know, whether you're the small guy or whether you're the big guy, and just by coming to our measurements alone, you're saving thousands of dollars over what you spent last year with the competitor. You know, the thought around, hey, what if we also included the measurements or the proposals with the measurements? Now we could essentially eliminate, you know, one of our subscriptions. And now that savings just went up even more, right? So there's just so many opportunities here to really capitalize on the value of the product. And, you know, a huge piece that Nick mentioned there, when you get to the premium plan, if you are a larger organization, having the unlimited users, you know, because so many other places are charging on a per user basis and we're not, you know, and you have that ability to add that whole team in there and get everybody on this product and it not really affect the price, you know, so take full advantage of that, you know, especially if I'm a larger organization, I'm jumping all over that because, you know, in so many other cases, that per user price can drive the cost of that product through the roof very quickly. Right. So, you know, the ability here to have the whole team in one spot and be able to see everything from an admin standpoint is just, it's so key to the success of the business, but also to the bottom line.
Exactly. And finding out like how you want to quote. If you're traditional pen and paper, a contractor out there, and you have the one option that you like using, say it be a ICO Dynasty, and you have that there, but why not open up the door to more options? So if you're looking just for like the single quote, single item, and you are 1 to 3 people, holy smokes, Mark, that's a lot of money in the chat there.
Wow.
And you're and you're using one product and you're quoting with the one product there. That could be fine. And that's what our pro plan does. And as you saw, while Pete, you were talking there, I went from a measurement and clicked on create proposal. And I have this beautiful detailed proposal here with descriptions already lined out with all the brochures and stuff. So this could really help you out at the beginning. You're going to drop your measurements down from $15 to $10. You're going to speed them up to 6-hour turnaround time. and you're going to be able to create as many of these beautiful proposals with e-signature as you want. And that could be a perfect fit for you on Pro. But if you're looking at your company and you're looking to grow, and you're looking at saying, I want to be able to add photos in, I want to be able to offer a good, better, best, or multi-option so I could easily have the customer do an upgrade. Well, then that's when we have that conversation with you and we could bring you up to the premium. And it's not like hundreds of dollars more. It's less than $100 more a month. You're looking at $89 to $149. And you're able to get a beautiful proposal like this and click on here. You could have the customer sign now and pick one option or multiple. Really, really fascinating tool that's going to be able to speed things up. They could type in what they want for the color and get that out there for you. And when you're talking about having multiple team members on there and premium having unlimited users per workspace, that really can speed that up and make things a lot simpler. Not only that, you're going to be able to track these quotes now. You're going to see who viewed them, what stage they're at, which ones are signed, and really be able to bring your team together and streamline their process.
Yeah, and my favorite piece of this, you and I talk about it quite often, Nick, but one of the things that I love is the multi-option, right? Because let's say you're even let's say you're a Pro subscriber right now with us, right? And you're just a guy who's quoting roofs, right? The upsell opportunity that's there for you going into this season, maybe you do gutters, maybe you do a little siding repair, maybe it's just upgrades on the roof itself. Maybe you can upgrade to a skylight edition, or maybe you're upgrading some material, and having the ability to throw those add-ons on there and be able to upsell on the spot by having those multiple options and saying to the customer, hey, I know you brought me out here just to quote your roof, but while I was here, I went ahead and I quoted these other things. It looks like your fence could use a repair. It looks like, your windows need to be replaced. Looks like your gutters need to be replaced, right? Throw it on that quote for a couple of reasons. We've talked about this in some other some other webinars. Is one, it's an upsell opportunity right there. So you have the potential to close more business on the spot. But two, when it comes time, like even if they say no thanks and they just do the roof right now, when it comes time to replace that gutters, they're going to remember that they got a quote from you and you're going to be the first person they call, right? So they're not going to go back and look for a gutter guy. They already have a gutter quote. You gave it to them, right? Mm-hmm. So now you're back there and you're that guy automatically, right? So it's beneficial not only on the spot to close more business and convert more jobs, but also to keep you front of mind for that customer if and when they do decide to do those add-ons. So, I love that part of the premium package and being able to utilize that. So like, even if you are somebody who's currently on our Pro subscription and quoting through us and you're already seeing the value, like there's a next step, like there's a next evolution of this that we can help you convert even more jobs and close even more business and be even more efficient than you already are.
Yeah, and then me, I like telling stories about our customers and how they've experienced it. Last time we spoke about our guy Corey down in Tampa, who was able to streamline his process and be able to hire more people, close more jobs and everything. And then today I talked about Dylan out in Southwest Ontario, who was able to kind of get the first job set up right away. But let's talk about somebody else too. We have contractors all over North America using it, and talk to somebody in was it? Well, my American geography went out the window there. It was in Wisconsin. They were just starting up for the season and working on like the potential to get a signed quote on every job. And that's why I just did this quote from where I was able to create a multi-option quote just from their measurements there. And what do I have here? I have so many options where I have an inspect and repair that's all been mapped directly to, and a pricing out there. I have a inspect and repair flat, inspect and repair pitched roof. I have a roof maintenance option, which is always a great feature to have because you could guarantee yourself some job there, and the full replacement option. Have all the different brochures set up here. But when you build out a quote like this and talking about the upsell like Pete was talking about there, this is what you'll end up seeing, and it's going to create the proposal as we speak, as ability to capture more work. get your name in there as the preferred roofer in that neighborhood and pay for your overhead, which is your subscriptions, off the bat. Get these jobs closed and open up the door for more in that area. It's going to speed up the process so much. And what Pete was talking about there is the multi option, just letting us load. Internet's just a little bit slow today. But here we go. The option here is, let's show it here. Multi-option here, where you're able to pick multiple things and add it up in real time. So if you have financing, if you have a program where you want to upsell on each job, this is a great way to do it, where a customer can pick multiple things as we go along, and it will add up in front of them and be able to do that. So if it's an upgrade to a skylight, upgrade to aluminum, upgrade to ridge vent, whatever the case may be, you now have the ability to do that in seconds and not make multiple quotes and confuse the homeowner.
Yeah, and let's touch on something really quick, kind of the shift of gears a little bit, Nick, and let's talk about the different types of roofers, right? I'm a retail roofer. So many of these products cater really well to the retail roofer, but they don't cater great to the commercial roofer. They don't cater great to the insurance guy. How is Roofr kind of capturing all those markets and being able to be a tool that can be used by any roofer? Maybe I'm a guy who does, an 80-20, right? Maybe I'm doing, some insurance work. I'm doing some retail work. Maybe I've got some commercial jobs coming this year. Maybe I'm looking to land more commercial work. Can I do all that through Roofr? And how simple is it?
Yeah, it really is that simple. And one of the reasons why it makes so simple, and it's going to actually answer Aniel's question that he posted in there as well. We train you. We work with you on that. So we have a dedicated customer success manager to you, as well as everybody at Roofr is more willing to help. But the different types of roofers that we're looking at, we'll start off with the easy one, residential versus commercial. Yeah, we could do both sides of it. Residential, we've seen with all these measurements that I just went through together, pretty cut and dry, where we're able to really help out with the measurements of the roof, upsell, and you're dealing direct with the homeowner. But when you're looking at a commercial side of it, I had a call with a roofer out in Texas, shout out to Jake last night, talking about a way of doing a job where he is dealing with coatings. And this is going to seem crazy, but we ordered this roof, which is just a square flat roof, which is nice and easy. But what he was talking about is that he needs a measurement to go along with the butter that's going to go across the seams to seal it up before he puts the coating on. And because our imagery is so good, we're able to zoom in and actually see those lines of each 3-foot roll of modified bitumen. And the really cool thing about our tool is you could edit everything. So we ordered this report together. It came through, had everything here. And I was able to draw out and label each 3-foot row and the crossing lines and mark them off to something where we can now create a proposal that maps every single one of these lines. So he gets the appropriate amount of the sealant to go over there. Then the next one is the total square footage for the amount of coating that he needs after that. So the hardest part, where he has to say, no matter what, I order a roofer report from you, but then I have to go out and actually measure all the seams. Well, don't worry. With our tool, you can edit every report and do that here. So yes, we could really cater to commercial roofers as well as retail in seconds. And like Pete said, it's not an all or nothing tool. You have the roofer reports that you could then edit, or you have straight DIY that you can do DIYs from. So that off the bat, I hope that answers whether we can do commercial and retail, because that's a very niche idea, but it's the most extreme thing that is able to help out there.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before. That was pretty incredible.
There. That was a cool idea. It was a
cool idea. Very good use of the tool. So
I was all hopped up on cans of soda and ready to rock and roll late at night. So yes, the retail and commercial thing, not a problem. We can work out. Our system labels flat roofs. Our system labels parapets. You're able to grow from there. Now, when we're talking about retail and insurance, another great question. Well, our tool can really expand on that and help out. Obviously, our measurements can be used for both on retail and insurance. You grab everything that you need and input it into it. Now, if you're looking for a change from Xactimate, looking for something that doesn't have as many cottage industries, that you have such a steep learning curve, and you still do some retail, well, lump sum quoting is a really good opportunity. And our tool is going to be able to allow that and help out with that. The lump sum quoting is going to be able to give you all the line items and scope of work quoting. You could put in your F9s, you could put in your descriptions all into the catalog with ease and provide it the quote to the homeowner where they could understand it, feel comfortable with you, and fight on behalf of you, with you, to the insurance carriers. So you're able to be able to quote retail and insurance, residential, commercial, shingles, flat, tile, you name it. We have a system for you. And like Aniel asked, is someone going to be there to help train? We're here for you, and we can help you kind of build out anything that you need. As you can see, you can make a catalog as crazy as this. I even have paving quotes and fencing quotes in here where I can map directly to it because the DIY tool can expand. So actually, because of insurance, you can supplement now with Roofr by adding the different trades that are in there from satellite imagery.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the reasons why I asked that question is kind of to lead into the fact that, because we can do all of these things, we can do commercial, we can do retail, we can do lump sum quoting for the insurance side of the business. The beauty of that is that if you guys are someone who is not using a tool like this, right? Maybe you're just starting out and you're thinking of using something like this. The beauty of it is if you're already quoting a different way, maybe you're using Excel, maybe you're using Word, right? Maybe you're using QuickBooks. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? Like we are flexible enough to have this quote mirror what you're currently doing. So even if you have a small sales team and you're like, wow, my sales team will never adopt this. They've, quoted this way for the last 10 years. We'll just build it to look exactly the same. Like we'll just set this up to really mirror the way you guys are quoting. All you're going to do is you're just going to gain, the efficiency of it, but it's going to look and feel to them just like the quote they're doing now, just a digital version of it, right? Or potentially a little bit cleaner version of it. So the great part about this product is the flexibility allows you to build out, if you have a successful way of quoting, to just mirror that here in Roofr, right? And so many conversations that I have on the on the onboarding side and on the training side with contractors is, hey, we're not asking you to like recreate the way you guys do things. Like we're not asking you to completely change the way you guys are doing business. We want to know how you quote now, and let's figure out how we make that quote in Roofr and make it function better for you. Like let's speed up the process using Roofr. Let's streamline the way the guys are filling it out by using the measurements and being able to just map it straight to the quote, by potentially being able to have a template that's already set up with multi-options so they're not having to write things in, whatever the case may be. However we can take what you're doing now and just make it cleaner and faster, that's the goal here, right? And the flexibility allows us to do that.
And what I love doing, and I know our sales team and success team loves doing too, is asking our users to challenge us. A lot of people are like, I have a pretty complicated quote. It's like, cool, send it to me. I will make it the exact same or better in our system. And I had that conversation with a great user out of Ohio, in the tri-state area there, and his name is John. And he had a quote that he was like, oh, this is a fairly complicated quote. And I was like, great, send it to me. And I want to fix it. And I want to be able to replicate that in Roofr. He sent it to me. I sent it back to him with a little video of what I did. And the verbatim email was, I'm not going to lie, I'm really impressed. And that's the way we can build out anything in our system, whether you're insurance, you're retail, commercial, residential. We're happy to help out and happy to teach you, happy to learn with you and work together to see what would be best suited for you and your company.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge point. I mean, I did something similar recently with an insurance contractor that's very, very large, and they said, hey, we have a quote. We're not sure if you guys will be able to do it, I said, send it to me, and played around with it a little bit and sent it back to them. And they were like, wow, I never thought we'd be able to do this easily in your system because of how involved our quote was, and we were able to recreate it. And they were very excited about that, and being able to kind of take their quoting to the next level and be able to get that digital signature and be able to email that off and not have to spend so much time running around chasing, customers. And, it's going to drastically change the way they do business. And the biggest part for them, being an insurance contractor, was the speed to lead piece, being the first one in the door, being able to very quickly, grab a measurement and quote a job, and, and be able to produce a quote for that customer potentially before any other competition can get in the door. So, that was really what sold them on it. And, and now that they have a quote that matches what they were doing, they're super excited to get out there and start quoting jobs with it. So,
yeah, it's winning over the customer as well as making you guys more efficient. And going back to where we started with, everything is set up a meeting. The link is at the top of the chat there. Set up a meeting with your account rep. We'll be happy to kind of dig deep with you guys, find out a little bit more about your company, your hopes, your dreams, how big you guys are, what your budget is, everything, and point you in the direction of the right plan. The good news is none of our plans are really expensive, looking at $89 to $149 a month, and even less if you're on an annual subscription. But we want to make sure that you're successful, because for us to be successful, you guys have to be successful. And that's exactly why we have these tools out there. So whether you're on free, pro, or premium, we're happy to kind of break down everything for you and find the right fit for you.
Yeah. I just want to open it up now, I think we've had a number of questions kind of popping up in the chat, but I just want to open it up to you guys for the last couple of minutes here. If you have anything for Nick and I, specifically around any of our packages, around any of our subscriptions, or around any of the tools that we offer, go ahead and throw it in the chat really quick. We'll do our best to jump in and answer that. Is there any other things that you think, Nick, as far as the packages go, that are crucial to touch on?
Yeah, it comes down to, let's just actually pull the pricing packages right over here and expand my screen a little bit. But when you're looking at the different ones of free, pro, premium, or enterprise, a lot of people who focus on our measurements are asking for the break-even numbers. So where are you going to start saving from that $5 drop down? So for the free, if you're below 10 measurements, and this is kind of a cheat sheet for Roofr. If you're below 10 measurements a month, it's probably good for you to stay on free. You get access to a lot of really cool tools. You can expedite it for a little bit extra money. Easy to do. If you're above the 10 and you're around the 14 or more reports a month, Pro is the right one for you, because that's going to actually break you even from just the savings on the reports alone, not to mention about expedited delivery, not to mention about material calculations, and not to mention about the proposal feature and e-signature. A lot of extra value brought in just on that alone. And then when you're looking at 20 or more reports a month, premium's probably where you want to be. The premium is going to allow you to have that's their break even there, but it's also going to allow you to have that good, better, best, and multi option, as well as 3-hour turnaround times, material calculations, and image uploads and annotations. So it really depends on where you are and what stage you are with your company. We have a plan for everybody, and then what your goals are for this year. We're coming out of a global pandemic. Things are opening. People are going to want to start spending money. So now's the time to kind of set you up for success, and we're happy to help out.
Yeah, this is a great question here by Christian. He said that they do exterior remodeling, which includes gutters, windows, siding, and a number of other things. Is it possible to edit the roofer estimate quote to include parts A, B, C, and D and other trades easily? And yeah, I mean, I think the multi-option is going to be the biggest advantage for you guys, to be able to offer all of those things and potentially quote as many as you need to. The beauty of that is you could even create a template that has all of those on there, that the guys could easily go in and even remove things if they don't apply to that specific situation. So, I've seen templates set up both ways, where, they are set up and options are added. And I've seen it where all the options that could potentially come up are in there, and then we just remove the options that we don't need. Right. So there's kind of two ways of doing it. A lot of guys will do it the second way, where they'll put in all the potential situations. So that way nothing gets overlooked by their sales guys, nothing gets missed. Hey, maybe it's our system where when my guys go out, I want them automatically to check all these things. Hey, check their windows, check their gutters, see if there's this upsell opportunity, right? So I leave all those things on the quote. Then the guys can kind of check those off and say, hey, that one doesn't apply. I'm going to remove it from this quote specifically, or that one does, so let me go ahead and pop the pricing in. We see lots of contractors that have multi-options set up. I've even seen guys that have separate quotes for windows and doors, separate quote for siding, and they'll just produce an entirely separate quote sometimes. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. Like I said, tons of flexibility in the platform, to set it up however you want. But the multi-option is huge there because it's going to give your salesman the opportunity to just close more right up front, right? And be able to, utilize that tool, and I always like multi-option when it comes to a finance job, right? And we've talked about this before, Nick. If you're someone who's working with a finance company and you're offering financing, to be able to have that multi-option quote and have a customer that's financed up to a certain amount, now that customer is saying like, well, I'm financed up to $30,000, right? So now I can click on these options and see how they affect the price and see, maybe I do 2 out of 3 because I'm financed up to a certain amount. Maybe I can cover all 3 now with that financing, so it really allows you to utilize that financing and, and tweak the price accordingly to be able to upsell them.
Yeah, as you were saying that, kind of sparked some ideas in my mind. So thank you. Was that Christian there?
Yeah.
Thank you for that question, because yes, you could add as many options as you can see I'm doing right here, as you want. Keep on having it there. If you want windows and it to be windows and doors, you could have windows and doors option, right? And exactly how, that's not how you spell doors, exactly how Pete said, have all the options in there. So it's quoted. And so your sales rep can kind of see what the options are, what you could upsell them to. They could input it in. And if they don't want it, they could just click on this and delete this section. Very, very simple to kind of start moving on and get in there. And at the end of the day, give that homeowner options. So they're going to ask more questions. So then you can educate them and see if it's a right fit for them. But you're able to kind of manipulate it and add into everything there, for any kind of exterior remodeling. As you can see, I put in paving here. You could do fencing, whatever the case may be. You're really able to kind of expand it to where you need it to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, just in closing, one of the biggest things to note here is regardless of how you guys are currently doing things, Roofr has so many options here to really help you guys either save money, improve your process, streamline your business, whatever the case may be, whatever you guys are looking to do in 2022, we've got the tools to do it here at Roofr. Call us up, have a conversation with us. We love to talk to roofers. Like Nick said, we talk to roofers all day. It's what we do. We've seen it all at this point, so there's nothing that you're going to surprise us with. And, I think that, because of that, it definitely helps us to be able to steer you in the right direction. We have a great group of people on the Roofr staff, on the sales side, on the success side, that can always make suggestions and always are there to help, whether that be with a report, whether that be with a quote, whether that be with just training on the system for your folks, whatever you're looking to do, Roofr is really there to help, and that's ultimately the goal of us is, we want to help you guys out. I believe the demo link is right there at the top, correct, Nick?
Yes.
In the chat. Yep. If you click on that link at the top, it should take you right to book a demo with us. So make sure you guys do that. Use this more or less even as a console, say, hey, this is how I'm currently doing things. Or even if you're a user, a lot of times, like we say, the best thing to do is if you're already using Roofr, hit us up and be like, hey, what new features have you guys added? What can I do to make this even better? Right? This is how I'm currently using the product to quote. What could I do next time, to even quote a little bit better or to potentially close more business? So, we've got the knowledge to steer you in the right direction and help you out there. So definitely utilize it.
Yeah, we're excited to talk to you guys. Excited to see where we can help out. Like I said, bring a quote, send it to your account executive or your customer support. Say, this is what I'm looking to kind of mimic, and let's improve on it. Let's see how we can get you guys more jobs, allow you to grow, whether you're that 1 to 3 person company or you're that 50 to 100 person company. We're here to help out with all of that.
Cool. All right, Nick, I appreciate you joining me again today. Another great masterclass. I think a lot of great information there. I appreciate everybody who joined us today. I hope you guys gained some knowledge there about the platform and what we have available. And like Nick said, reach out, definitely utilize us. We are a great resource. All of the team is very, very knowledgeable. I think we have Nick, over 100 years of experience in the roofing and construction industry amongst the group. So, we're not just a tech company here. Like, we are a group of roofers and construction guys with our background. So, take advantage of that. Like, we've seen it. We know the best way to make this work in the field because we've been on that side of it. We've used it in the field, our products like it, so definitely hit us up and have a chat with us and see what we can do. I appreciate everybody joining us, and we will see you guys next time on the Roofr Masterclass.
Thanks so much, everyone.